All right, ready to dive deep. Today, we're going way beyond beats and bear hunting to uncover the man behind Dwight Schrute, Rainn Wilson. And let me tell you, this interview we're diving into, the one on the Dre and Smiley The Inner Circle podcast, full of surprises.
It really gets into like the core of who Rain is, like his personal life, his spiritual side, even what it's like dealing with fame when you're so linked to a character like Dwight.
It's true, we instantly think of him as Dwight, that hilarious, kind of awkward office guy. But he's got this whole other side. He even wrote a book, right? Soul Boom, Why We Need a Spiritual Revolution.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just some catchy title either. Rain gets seriously deep thinking about the meaning of life. Some of his insights are shockingly profound.
Like when he talks about preparing his father's body for burial. Not what you'd expect at all.
It's actually really moving. He uses this phrase meat suit to talk about the body. At first I was like, okay, Rain. Very Dwight. But then he explains this idea that after death, the body's just a shell. It's the spirit, the real essence of the person that matters.
It's like, boom. Suddenly, this kind of silly phrase makes you rethink life and death entirely. Makes you think about what it means to even be human.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that this whole experience, it wasn't just some fleeting thing for him. It ties right into his belief that we're not just physical, we're spiritual beings having this human experience.
And get this, he doesn't just talk about it, he lives it. Which brings us to his amazing work in Haiti.
This is where you really see Rain's commitment to making a difference. I mean, he could just slap his name on any cause, but his connection to Haiti, it's personal.
Yeah, he talks about visiting back in 2009, just being blown away by the poverty. Then, just months later, the earthquake hits.
And it wasn't some distant news event for him. The hotel he stayed at, completely destroyed. Everyone inside died. You can hear the emotion in his voice when he talks about it.
It's heartbreaking, but it also kind of feels like it lit a fire in him, like it fueled this determination to help. He co-founded this incredible nonprofit, Lide Haiti. They focus on empowering women and girls through education and the arts.
And they're making a real impact. We're talking 12 locations, working with almost 1,000 girls. And the best part, it's entirely Haitian run.
That's huge. He talks about how crucial it is to empower those communities, not force outside solutions. It's about giving them the tools to build their own better future.
Exactly. It's a good reminder for all of us, really. Sometimes the best way to help is to step back and let others lead the way. And, speaking of empowerment, we should talk about Rain's take on fame.
Oh, for sure. It's got to be a trip for him.
Right. I mean, it's not like he's some A-lister with paparazzi chasing him down, but he's definitely recognizable.
Totally. And he tells this hilarious story about fans, like driving past him yelling, "We love you."
And Rain, classic Rain, his inner thought is, no, you don't. You love Dwight. Like, that whole disconnect between the actor and the role.
Totally. It's like that time he met the Dalai Lama. Talk about an interesting encounter, right?
Wait, hold on. He met the Dalai Lama?
Yeah. And you'd think, right, people be all over him, "Oh, Rainn Wilson from The Office." But nope, they were crowding around him because to them, he was just this, and I quote, big, weird-looking foreign white guy.
You're kidding. That's amazing, and it proves his point, right? Fame is such a strange thing.
100%. And speaking of keeping it real, Rainn tells this story about being on a plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's comedy gold. So he's just minding his own business, and the guy next to him starts watching The Office.
Oh, no, I can only imagine what happened next.
So Rainn, he's a good sport, and he's got a mask on at the time, so he's like, "Hey, you like that show?" And the guy just goes off on this whole critique about The Office. It's pretty good, but kind of slow at the beginning.
He is giving Rainn Wilson notes on The Office. I can't with this guy.
I know. So Rainn's playing along, says he tried watching it, but wasn't really feeling it. The passenger, completely clueless, starts encouraging him to give it another shot.
Yeah.
Like, no, it gets better, trust me.
Stop. That did not happen.
Oh, it gets better. I can only imagine the look on the guy's face when Rainn finally revealed himself.
Oh, man. That is priceless. It just goes to show Rain doesn't take himself too seriously, which I really like about him.
For sure. Makes you appreciate him even more. But all right, let's move on to that final four part of the podcast. Those rapid-fire questions that tell you so much about a person.
Oh, yeah, I love those. So, best advice Rain's ever gotten.
So this comes from an actor you might know from a little show called The Simpsons, Hank Azaria.
Wait, Hank Azaria, as in the voice of, like, Mo, Apu, Chief Wiggum.
The one and only.
Yeah.
Rainn says back when they were in college together, Hank gave him this super important piece of advice, told him to really connect with the heart and guts of a character, to tap into those real emotions.
That's actually really interesting. Like, Rain's always seemed like a very intellectual actor, It's cool that Hank pushed him to move beyond just the lines, really embody the characters.
Exactly. And then we had the classic dream dinner guest, dead or alive question, Rain's answer, total Hollywood legend.
Okay, hit me with it. Who is it?
He goes full-on fanboy for Jack Nicholson. But not just any Jack. It's got to be peak 70s, 80s Jack. Like, think One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Shining, Terms of Endearment.
Now, that would be a dinner party. Can you imagine the stories, the laughter? They'd probably be going at it all night.
Oh, absolutely. They'd have some interesting conversations for sure, probably fueled by tons of coffee. And knowing Jack, maybe some other things.
Okay, so what about something that always makes Rain laugh? His go-to for a guaranteed chuckle.
Get ready for a healthy dose of British humor. He's a huge fan of classics like Fawlty Towers and Monty Python. And of course, the comedic genius of Steve Coogan as Alan Partridge.
Oh man, those are top-tier choices. You can tell he's all about that dry, witty, sometimes totally absurd humor. Makes you wonder if that's where he got some inspiration for Dwight's weirder moments.
Right. There's definitely a connection, that deadpan delivery, never-breaking character,
Yeah.
pure British comedy.
All right, you ready for the big reveal? The hidden talent.
Laid it on me.
Prepare to be amazed. Rainn Wilson is a damn good tennis player. And we're not talking casual. He's ranked 4.0.
I know. You wouldn't guess that just by looking at him. Who knew he had that competitive athlete inside? I kind of want to see him on the court now, all serious and focused.
Right. Maybe with a sweatband, but with a beat on it.
Okay, now that's a visual. But really, it just shows you can't judge a book by its cover. Or in this case, a beet farmer by his calculator watch.
I'm telling ya, this Rainn Wilson deep dive has been wild.
Oh.
So many surprises.
Right. Like, who knew about Rain the tennis ace? Makes you wonder what else he's got up his sleeve.
Seriously, maybe in another life, he's out there dominating Wimbledon. Love it. But on a more serious note, I think the biggest thing I'm taking from all this is how we tend to put people in boxes, especially celebs.
100%. We see them playing these characters and think we've got them all figured out.
But then you listen to Rainn talk about his life, his beliefs, what he's passionate about.
And you realize there's way more to him than meets the eye. He's funny, no doubt, but also thoughtful, spiritual, genuinely wants to make the world better.
It reminds you that people are multifaceted. You know, we've all got hidden depths, passions you wouldn't expect, experiences that make us who we are.
Exactly. So yeah, next time you see Rain, whether it's Dwight on your screen or him being interviewed, just remember, there's a whole lot more to him than that one role.
Couldn't agree more. And, you know, maybe it'll inspire us all to look a little deeper at the people around us, too. Might be surprised what we discover.
Well said.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the many sides of Rainn Wilson. Until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.